about is when I think of like discipline and like certain structure, I think about a body of water, right? You have a river and it's bound by, it's banks, right? And it moves towards a certain direction and it has power. What happens when you remove those boundaries? You have like a swamp. And I feel like the mind is the same way. You have to channel, one's thoughts and one's feelings towards a certain good, but you let it go all over the place and you get a big mess.
Okay, so that idea of discipline is maybe not one that's so popular in modern society, as far as, especially when it comes to love. I think love is
it's looked at as a dirty word.
Yeah, you're expected, I think, in modern society, that love is supposed to be completely free, which it is, right? Like, we want to promote that idea of free. Our show, right, Wild and Free, but that freedom comes with a certain responsibility. That idea of boundaries, right? That if you don't have those boundaries, you don't really have freedom. You just have a mess. It kind of spills out. I think of athletes and sports as a good example of that. We look to athletes and we value and prize their discipline, right? Yeah. Because it's through that discipline that they become great at whatever they're aiming for, right? If they were kind of following their passions and their passions only without that idea of sacrifice, I imagine a lot of athletes wouldn't be the tremendous role models that we see them as, because maybe they can't achieve as much because, like you were saying, without that structure, it spills out. So how do we kind of look at that as it applies to love?
I think of also musicians, right? They have to practice and learn, and I think at first it seems really tedious to have to sit, let's say, behind a piano, behind a violin, and learn each note and how the instrument works. But once they know the instrument, once they know the notations, they could create any kind of music they want, right? I feel like once we understand what love is and how to live it out and how to give of ourselves, then I think there is like kind of freedom and creativity and expressing that love in different ways.
And also what love isn't, right? Like understanding what love isn't, so that we can avoid it and move towards a true love.